It's a big one in Houston this week for the Roadrunners, coming off a pair of league draws and wrapping up an undefeated September for the first time in program history. UTSA is second in the American standings and playing at Rice on Thursday, who is third in the same standings. We've got Addi O'Kelly with us, who was definitely in the thick of the action on some pretty big plays this week. And let's go ahead and get things started. Coach, can you get us going, recapping the week and previewing your thoughts on what lies ahead this week for the Roadrunners?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. A tough weekend. Every weekend in the American and in our league is difficult, no matter whether home or away. I thought our players did a phenomenal job in both matches, coming back from being down, both against UAB and ultimately, late in the game against Charlotte. I talked about a little bit after the game yesterday. I thought we had slow starts in both matches. Our second half response, our second half performance was really positive. Just getting back to who we are, what we need to be doing, how we want to be playing as a collective group. And I think that showed in both of the second half performances. So, I know our players are, happy to be where we are in the standings, to be, obviously in second place. Every match matters. Everyone's going to be huge and important for us. Addi, stepped in with big-time minutes for us in both games, had some really key moments for us, both in some tackles, some headers, some different, blue-collar moments as Addi usually does. And to be able to get the penalty that she was able to earn by being fouled in the box against Charlotte was critical for us. So, and we've been able to rely on our bench and our players coming off in those game-changing roles for us every bit of the season. And Addi's just one of those examples of next player up, next opportunity, and she stepped in and has done very, very well for us. So, yeah, happy with where our teams are at this point in time. Happy to go undefeated in September, but our next opponent is our biggest and most important game of the season, and we're excited to go to Rice on Thursday and play against a very, very good Rice Owl team.
Go ahead and get us started on questions, Terrence.
Coach, as far as Rice, do you know anything? Is it a typical Rice team or?
Yeah, they've changed maybe a little bit from in the past. I know Coach Brian Lee has always done a very good job. They've typically played in a 3-5-2. This year they're playing in a little bit more of a 4-3-3. Still have some of the same, very dangerous weapons. Leah Chansey is the top offensive player in the league. She leads the league, I think, or is at the top of the league in almost every offensive category. She has 8 goals, 8 assists. So everything goes through Leah. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. If you can keep her quiet, you can keep Rice quiet. But he's got some really dangerous players in other positions. They're dangerous on set pieces. Really, the biggest thing about Rice is they're a no-nonsense team. They don't give up a whole lot of chances. As far as clear cut, they don't make a ton of mistakes, and they're waiting to pounce and punish you if you make errors. So, yeah, definitely a typical Rice team that just goes about their business in a quiet way, and they've had some really positive results so far. A few bounces maybe that's gone their way, but they've definitely put themselves in position to have the number of wins that they do, and it'll be a typical tight match that we fully expect on Thursday night.
Go ahead, Terrence.
Rice, I guess last week was 25th in the nation, and then earlier in the season, TCU, and then later you got Memphis. I guess, what is that like when you're building a program and you look up and you're playing in big games and ranked teams, and visualization of when you're starting a program, when it becomes reality?
Yeah, it's what we want. It's what we recruited these players here to play in these types of matches. Whether you're starting for us or whether you're coming off the bench or whatever role you have on our team, every single one of our players knows that we want to be playing against some of the best of the best. And, not taking away from Charlotte and UAB this past weekend, RPI-wise, they're in the top 100. They've played very difficult games and opponents. And so we knew we were going to get their best. And Rice is just another example of that. We knew, from the very get-go, playing against Houston, playing against TCU, and some of the other opponents that we have played this season, that those were the opponents that are going to get us ready for conference play. Every game is tough. Every game is tight. It really can swivel and change on the smallest of margins, and that's something that we've talked about a lot with our team this season, that every moment matters. We have to start the game well. We have to put together 90 minutes. We have to stay focused and be tough mentally and physically for the entire game. So we fully expect that to be the case, and our players are up for that, and they've shown their toughness throughout this season, and excited to be able to put in another good performance on Thursday.
Eddie, from the player perspective, what is that like when you play a big game on Thursday and then you come back and you practice and then you're playing somebody else, whether it's a rival or a ranked opponent? What's the mental and emotional aspects of it?
I mean, it's hard, especially since Thursday was away and we were traveling. Coming back on Sunday, our legs were a little bit heavier, even though we got some rest. But I think it's all just down to our grit. It's just how bad we want it as a team and just like how we're going to perform together.
Is that kind of what you envision as far as coming here to playing big games and postseason play and stuff like that?
Of course, yeah. I think our team can go far, and as long as we work together and have good chemistry, those big games are important, but we've shown that we can perform well on them.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in. Addi, this is only your second season here. How much do you know about Rice's history and the long history that we have with the Owls out there?
Not very much, if I'm being honest, but I know last year when we played Rice, it was definitely a battle. They're a very good team, so we expect nothing less coming in on Thursday to play them away.
Well, Coach, you can definitely touch on this. We've definitely played some a lot of games over the years that have been very close with the Owls. With their history, they have come out on top more often than not. But in the recent rise of UTSA soccer, those games have gotten closer and closer, and we've been notching some wins. How important to the program and the overall series and just this season is it to come out of there with a W or a draw?
Yeah, I mean, listen, our games against Rice, in my opinion, might not be as heated of a rivalry that sometimes we might have with North Texas or maybe other teams, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for Brian Lee and his staff. He's done a very good job there. He's always has his team set up very, very well and very organized. And to be honest with you, I think it's some of the most intense games that we have in our league play, whether we were in Conference USA or obviously now in the American. So, it's outside of, I think, my first year or two, every game's been kind of a one-goal game, and can spin on a set piece here or spin on a set piece there, critical moments that happen. And, he's got a lot of intelligent players, high academic kids that work their butts off, so they're very organized. Like I mentioned earlier, they don't give up a lot of chances. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And I would say neither do we. We're two of the better probably defensive teams maybe in the league. And he's got a really special player in Leah Chansey that transferred to him from SMU as a grad student. And, sometimes you can, he's been fortunate enough to have those types of kids, and we know that we need to be aware of her. But again, we talk about this all the time. The most important game of our season is the next one. And that is where our kids are focused. That's what we're doing to get recovered today, have 2 good sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday, and obviously travel and play at Rice on Thursday. That is where our full focus and our full mentality is, regardless of what goes on around the rest of the league. These matches, again, are very, very important for us, and we want to keep climbing in the standings. We want to continue to maintain our position, to continue putting ourselves one step closer to our goal, which is making the conference tournament and being able to get to Tampa and compete for a championship.
Addi, I guess as the success of this season, can you sense way teams play y'all, or the matches more intense just because of the success y'all had?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you sense the matches becoming more intense just because of the success y'all had?
I think so. I think at the beginning of the season, maybe other teams underestimated us and didn't think that we were going to come out as strong as we did. But I think we've proved ourselves throughout the season so far, and I think we're going to keep proving ourselves. And teams are going to come out harder and maybe play differently than how they normally would against us.
Addi, I had a follow-up on that.
Go ahead.
Since we are seeing a lot of success in this season, we've heard it before, time and time again, that, this is a very cohesive group. There's a lot of teamwork. There's a lot of family. This is your second year with them. Definitely grinding through some tough spots and then coming out the other side successful. What can you attribute that to? What can you say about the chemistry on this team?
I think last year we definitely had good team chemistry, but coming into this year, it's just completely amazing. Everyone trusts each other and has so much faith in each other that when we get on the field, we're going to have each other's backs and everyone's going to perform to the best of their abilities. And there's just so much integrity with this group and teamwork and chemistry that I think it's really changed the way we've played together and how much we trust each other on the ball and on the field.
Any other questions from the media? Okay, it seems not. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you, Addi, for taking the time to come in. We'll look forward to a result out in Houston and getting another weekend rest before ramping up against another big opponent the following week. Thank you very much, and everyone have a great week. We'll see you back next time.
Thank you, guys. Birds up.